Okay, so hello class, welcome back to Theology 12. And on the previous video, we have discussed about how Jesus Christ is true God and true man. And we use the analogy of the oil and water. But we have to realize that yes, God broke natural law once more. And only God could unite two into one yet remaining distinct, no? So unlike doon sa ginawa doon sa oil and water, it has been mixed at doon sa mixture na yon, hindi na natin makikita yung tubig at yung oil, no? So because in nature, nature will either dissolve one over the other, 'di ba? Because we have this principle of the solvent and the solute, or they would actually bond temporarily tulad nung nangyari nga dito sa ating oil and water. But God did this once and for all na uh, God has united two different distinct natures into one, yet remaining distinct and hindi siya uh, naghalo na parang hindi mo na makikilala yung isa doon sa isa. Okay? So, it is called the hypostatic union. Again, it is called the hypostatic union in Jesus Christ, wherein using the person of Jesus Christ, two natures, while remaining in its own properties, being human and being divine, they are united in one subsistence, no? And one person, or hypostasis, ousia, or prosopon, as we termed it in the Greek language. Okay? So, it should be clear, no? Na hindi naghalo lang, no? Yung tinatawag nating oil and water, yung humanity and yung divinity ni Jesus Christ. Now, in the development of Christology, we have different heresies or yung mga tinatawag natin na maling teachings about a certain theme, no? About a certain doctrine. So, we have from the First Council of Nicaea, 325, the confession that Jesus Christ is actually true God. Because it is said that God alone can save us. But bakit ba nagkaroon ng ganun confession? Because there is this opposing teaching like the Ebionitism or Ebionitism, which claims that Jesus is not God on the extreme end. And meron din naman on the middle that Jesus was not fully God. Ibig sabihin, hindi kabuuan ang pagka-Diyos ni Kristo. Now, in the development also by the year 381 in the Council of Constantinople, no, that which is not assumed is not healed, no? Yung sinasabi natin na non assumptum, non est sanatum. No, that which is not assumed is not healed. Why? Because there is this opposing teaching on the other extreme end that Jesus was not human, and that is Docetism. And on the middle is what we call Apollinarianism, that claims that Jesus was not fully human. Okay? So, pero naging malinaw sa Council of Ephesus that Jesus is one person only, no? Because of the hypostatic uh, union. Kinilala na iisa lang ang person ni Jesus by the year 431 because of the teaching of Nestorius in Nestorianism that Jesus was two distinct persons. And it was fully clarified in the Council of Chalcedon, no, with the use of the hypostatic union that the two natures are in one person against the teaching of Eutychus or the Eutychianism that Jesus had one blended nature na parang naghalo yung pagiging Diyos at pagiging tao ni Kristo, while we believe that the while being united in one person, naging distinct pa rin yung humanity and divinity ni Jesus. Okay? So, let us discuss Ebionism, no? So, as you can see, canceled out yung divinity ni Jesus, and what remains is his humanity. The Ebionites are Jewish Christians in the early church who rejected the virgin birth. Okay? So, as we know na monotheist yung mga Jewish people, so that they cannot actually accept that Jesus is God. So they rejected the virgin birth, and Jesus is simply a man, and he was normally born of Joseph and Mary. Okay, he may be predestined as Messiah, and in this capacity, he would return to reign on earth. So, he can be the one to fulfill the person of the Messiah, pero he is not a God. Okay? So, Jesus is just a man and not divine. He is just a good man, isang prophet, a holy man, or a good religious teacher among the many. So, on the extreme end, Jesus is not divine. He is fully human. Now, we have here Arianism. Again, in the diagram, canceled out yung kanyang divinity. So Jesus is, yes, related to God as his son, but he is not fully divine. Ibig sabihin, hindi totoo yung preeminence ni Jesus, yung pre-existence ni Jesus. So, hindi totoo that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. No, he was simply given the title Son of God as a courtesy. No, so there was once that he was not. But unlike our teaching that Jesus is actually there, the second person of the Trinity from the beginning and even before the beginning in eternity. So si Arius, he is a presbyter, an elder in the Church of Alexandria, and maganda sana yung kanyang aim. That is to defend the transcendence of God. And in the end, he had to conclude that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, was actually as a demigod. No? He is a demigod. And therefore, he is simply a created being. Okay? So, kumbaga, halong Diyos, halong tao. Okay? So, he is not fully divine. Okay? Now, on the other end naman, canceled out sa Docetism yung humanity ni Jesus. No? So Jesus is said to be wholly divine, and that his manhood, his physical body, and death are illusions. Ibig sabihin, this came from the word dokeo, which means to sin. Parang, no? The divine Christ could not take part in evil flesh and only seemed to be a man. Thus only seemed to have a physical body and to physically die. But really, he was a pure spirit, and so he could not die. So the Christ departed from the man Jesus before the crucifixion. Okay, so kumbaga parang multo. Hindi totoo yung pagiging tao ni Kristo. Parang nagkatawang tao lang siya, parang namatay lang siya. Okay, so this Docetists are overly influenced by Gnosticism and Greek philosophical ideas. Now, on the other side again, no, yung alanganin dito ulit, he is only partially a man. No? So Jesus is fully God, yes, but only partially a man. Yes, Jesus had a human body and a human soul, but he had a divine mind, reason, or spirit. So, as we all know, in the Greek perspective, there is the tripartite nature of the soul. No? Meron tayong soul, spirit, and body. And dito, merong human body and may human soul si Jesus, but he has the spirit, the mind, the reason of God. Therefore, the word or the logos, actually the perfect divine nature controlled his human flesh. Ibig sabihin, yung divinity ni Jesus ang nag-control, nag-take over na parang robot sa katawan ni Jesus, sa kanyang kaluluwa. So, in a way, Jesus Christ became a tertium quid, a third thing, or a middle being, nasa gitna ng pagiging Diyos at ng pagiging tao, in whom one part divine, okay, because of the Logos, the divine Logos, and he is two parts human because he has the soul and body, as we said, the tripartite nature of the soul. So, nag-take over yung kanyang divinity, no? Because of the Logos over the humanity of Jesus. And it was proposed by Apollinaris, the Bishop of Laodicea. Now, we also have Nestorianism. So Nestorianism is, as we can see, nandoon yung dalawang nature, the humanity and divinity, but they are not united. So Jesus has two natures and also two persons, therefore. So the divine Christ and the human Jesus live together in Jesus Christ. Okay, so kumbaga naghahati, merong yung taong Kristo at yung taong Jesus, no? Yung Diyos na si Kristo at yung taong si Jesus ay nandoon kay Jesus Christ. So, paano nangyari yan? Because of this Nestorius, he was a monk, a presbyter of Antioch, a patriarch of Constantinople. He rejected the term Theotokos. So, this is a claim that yung ipinanganak ni Mary is both human and divine. And he implied that the baby had only one nature, divine nature. No? So, and proposed the term Christotokos, no? So, he is simply a Christ bearer, and to better emphasize the unity of the two natures of Jesus. So, the Logos indwelt the person of Jesus, making Christ a God-bearing man rather than a God-man. Okay, so ibig sabihin, parang lalagyan lang siya nung pagka-Diyos, no? But he is not a God-man. He is not at once a God and a divine united in one person. And on the other end, yung monophysitism, no, which is also called as Eutychianism, there is the denial of the distinction of the natures of Jesus. So he said that Jesus is only one nature, no? That his manhood was totally absorbed and dominated by his divine nature. So all of Christ's human attributes are transferred to one subject, the humanized logo. So it can be said, God is born, God suffered, God was crucified, and God died. Ibig sabihin, walang distinction yung humanity at saka yung divinity niya. Naghahalo. Therefore, it is confused and not identical with one another. So, it was proposed by Eutychus, the presbyter and head monk of a cloister of the 300 monks in Constantinople. Therefore, makikita natin, bakit ba natin pinag-aaralan yung mali? Bakit ituturo dapat yung mali? So that we can know kung ano yung tama. And again, what we confess is that Jesus Christ is true God according to Nicaea 1, year 225, because God alone can save us, and that he is also a true man, according to Constantinople 1, because that which is not assumed is not healed. No? So, and there is only one person, and that the two natures are united in that one person through what we call as the hypostatic union. Okay? So, now, after that, we will now proceed on the discussion on how Jesus Christ actually saved us. What does it mean that Jesus saved us? So, what does Christ save us from? So, saan ba tayo iniligtas ni Kristo? So, first, Christ saves us by touching the spiritual root of all these evils experienced today, namely sin. Ibig sabihin, iniligtas tayo ng Diyos mula sa kasalanan. And of course, in the middle of sin is the letter I. And dito natin makikita that it is the people's proud self-seeking moral attitudes and acts before God and with one another that actually enslaves, no? So, selfishness enslaves. So, in the middle of sin is I. And because of that sin, we are subject to death. And dito tayo iniligtas ni Kristo. And this is called as objective redemption. No? Again, this is called as the objective redemption. Oo, tapos na yung ginawang pagliligtas ni Kristo sa pamamagitan ng kanyang incarnation, which has reached its climax in the death and the resurrection of Jesus. But it is not fully accomplished. Why? Because this salvation, which already Christ won for all of us, is not actually complete because it must be accepted, embraced, and acted out in the free lives of believers today. Ibig sabihin, this is what we call as the subjective redemption. No? Ikaw ang pipili sa sarili mo na ikaw ay maliligtas ng buong kalayaan. No? You need to have this choice, to make this choice that you will be saved through these acts, no, of belief, of worship, no, of following the morals of Christ. So dito, kumbaga ibinukas ni Kristo yung pintuan ng langit, ngunit malaya nating pipiliin na pumasok dito. Hindi tayo itutulak ng Diyos papasok sa langit. Kailangan mong piliin ito. Sapagkat sabi nga natin, anhin mo ang isang pag-ibig na pinilit at hindi pinili. Aanhin mo ang pag-ibig na pinilit at hindi pinili. That's why this salvation which Christ is offering us as a gift, it is free to be accepted, and we are free also to deny it. No? So again, there is this two parts of salvation. The first is the objective, and the second one is subjective redemption. Now, he saved us from cosmic evil according to CFC number 495. So, in his public ministry, Jesus was noted for casting out evil spirits. Okay? So, siya ay nagpapalaya sa atin mula sa mga masasamang espiritu. And because of that, it means that to be saved is to be a new creation, isang bagong nilalang. So that if anyone is in Christ, he is actually a new creation. So God gave us a new life in company with Christ. So binibigyan tayo ng panibagong buhay sapagkat iniligtas tayo mula sa kapangyarihan ng kasamaan of the cosmic evil, no? And snatching it up and nailing it to the cross. Thus, did God disarm the principalities and powers. So he made a public show of them and leading of captive triumph in the person of Christ. Also, yet the fight versus evil spirits continues as St. Peter warns us. Stay sober and alert. Your opponent, the devil, is sprawling like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, steadfast in your faith. So, inilalaban tayo ni Kristo. Sana ipaglaban din natin ang ating sarili. Ipaglaban natin ang ating simbahan. Ipaglaban natin ang ating lipunan. Okay? Also, Jesus did not only save us from cosmic evil, but he also saved us from socio-political oppression. So, of course, the Exodus liberation of the Old Testament is the background for Jesus' work as the new Moses. No? So, kung before we have said that Jesus is the new Adam, we have to believe that Jesus is the new Moses, the new lawgiver. And he teaches us a new hierarchy of values. Kung ano ba talaga yung mahalaga, alin ang dapat pahalagahan, which undermine the oppressive social structures of this day. So how did Jesus actually liberate? So first, he exposed the enslaving, corrupting power of riches. Ipinakita ni Kristo na ang kayamanan ay hindi dapat ang ating maging Diyos, sapagkat iisa lamang ang Diyos. He showed that giving was better than taking, that sharing more is liberating than hoarding. Makikita natin ngayon sa panahon natin na naglaganap yung espiritu ng kasamaan sapagkat mas pinipili ng iba na mag-hoard kaysa magbigay na maging makasarili kaysa tumulong. So here, napakahalaga that we implore Jesus to save us, to help us, to give us the courage, no, to be liberated from the enslaving, corrupting power of riches. So for him, the key to economic liberation is first to free the human hearts from greed and self-seeking. Okay? So upang makalaya tayo dito, we have to free our hearts from greed and self-seeking ways. And also, to inspire them to respect for others, sensitivity and compassion for the needy, and the generous outgoing love for those in want. Okay? So, ang lahat ng ito, oo, kinakailangan natin ang kayamanan, ngunit hindi dapat ito ang maging Panginoon natin, hindi ito ang dapat namang alipin sa atin. Gagamitin natin ito upang makatulong sa iba. Also, Jesus taught that any power is not rooted in mutual service was enslaving and oppressive. Ibig sabihin, power as God is the most powerful, is the omnipotent God, He shares this power. Ang tunay na makapangyarihan, hindi siya yung nagsosolo ng kapangyarihan, kundi nagpapamahagi ng kapangyarihan. The true one, the true powerful one, is He who empowers everyone. Okay? So love is ultimately the only power that sets people free. And that's why He has shown first and foremost the example of love. Now, third, Jesus liberated us from the common social prejudices. So dati napakarami ng prejudice, ng bias, no? Merong difference between the poor and the rich, merong difference between the pure and the impure. What is makikita natin, the foreigner and the Jews, no? Women, merong mga public sinners na inilalayo, mga outcast. So he showed us the concern for the little ones of the kingdom. Okay? And also, finally, Jesus freed his contemporaries from mere external and legalistic religious obedience to the law. Ibig sabihin, ang tunay na magpapalaya ay hindi ang batas, kung hindi ang espiritu ng batas. Para saan ba? And sinasabi nga natin, the law is the minimum of love. The law is the minimum of love. Therefore, the fulfillment of the law is actually the practice, the exercise of love. Okay? So, and ultimately, we are saved from not only from cosmic evil, not only from socio-political oppression, but also from life's meaninglessness. So, Christ saved us by being the revelation of the Father. Ipinahayag niya na ang Diyos ay totoo, na ang Diyos ay buhay, na ang Diyos ay mapagmahal. Therefore, his teachings set us free because they offer meaning and purpose of life. Jesus said, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full, not simply bios. No, the bios, which means life like sustained by uh, air, water, food, etc. But what he is giving us is Zoe, or a life that is meaningful, a meaningful life. Okay? And also, in summary, now, at the time appointed by God, the only Son of the Father, the eternal Word that is the Word and substantial image of the Father, became incarnate. And without losing his divine nature, he has assumed human nature. So, Jesus Christ is true God and true man. And it is in the unity of his divine person. And dahil doon, siya yung karapat-dapat na mamagitan sa atin sapagkat siya ay tunay na Diyos at siya rin ay tunay na tao. And Jesus has two natures, one divine and the other human. It's not confused, but united in the one person of God's Son through the hypostatic union. And Christ, being the true God and true man, he has human intellect and will. But this human intellect and will is attuned, is cooperative to the divine intellect and to the divine will. That's why he operates both as man and as divine, as a God. So the incarnation is therefore this mystery of the wonderful union of the divine and human natures in the one person of the Word. So this is how Jesus actually is true God and true man. This is how Jesus actually saved us. That is from uh, cosmic evil, from social political oppression, and from the meaningless of our lives. And we have to know and we have to remember that salvation is both a gift and a responsibility. Isa sang regalo, ngunit ito ay isang responsibilidad, pinipili. Kaya sabi nga natin, ang pag-ibig ay pinipili at hindi pinipili.